Hey Doug, I wanted to give you some. I wanted to give you some insights onto Town Hall 8 base building that you can apply and make a unique base with. The overall idea of Town Hall 8 is, especially because there's Town Hall 9s and Town Hall 10s in the war, if you can prevent yourself from getting 3-starred by a Town Hall 8, you're doing a good job on defense. Like in this war, you got 3-starred by a Town Hall 9. That's not your fault. There's nothing really you can do about it. They can just make lava hounds and loons, and they'll 3-star you every single time, no matter what you do. It's just, you can't prevent it. So, because you can't really prevent that, the idea is to focus on things you can prevent. You can prevent the Town Hall 8 3-star. Not like guaranteed prevent it. If it's a determined attacker who's really skilled, he's going to 3-star you no matter what, but you can make it really hard for him. And that's kind of what the focus on this is. There's about 3 different things you have to worry about at Town Hall 8. With Town Hall 8, Go Wipe, Dragloon, and Hogging. Go Wipe is the easiest of those 3 to prevent the 3-star with. If you get decent level walls and you get max defenses, a Town Hall 8 is pretty much not going to 3-star you as long as you have more than 10 compartments. This base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This base is like 14 compartments. So I don't have to worry about Go Wipe because Town Hall 8 Go Wipe, they don't have the jump spell. Walls really slow them down. They get stuck on walls for a long time. And that's pretty much going to be the end of Go Wipe. Town Hall 8. It's not as big of a threat as the other ones. So the next one, the most common thing to worry about is dragons. Now the best way to defend against dragons, and this is a very untraditional base, but it's worked very well. I think it's been like, oh man, I can't even remember the last time this thing was 3-starred by Town Hall 8. We haven't really had good wars against good Town Hall 8s in a really long time though, so I guess that's not really fair. But I'll show you what makes this base work really well against Town Hall 8 attacks. So in a Dragloon attack, air defenses are the most important part. Air defenses and seeker mines are what kill dragons. And so you want to protect those things. And you want to make sure your seeker mines hit something earlier on in the raid, because then whatever they hit, if they're basically going to kill a dragon, that dragon's not going to be able to do DPS for the rest of the raid, and it's going to have less cumulative DPS than if the seeker mine hits it at the end of the raid. Almost all dragon attackers, for whatever reason, okay, I can't say that. I'll reset. Dragon attackers, skilled ones, want to bring down the air defenses. So normally what you want to do is you want to put the air defenses in a triangle and have storages right next to the air defenses, guarding them and protecting them. Storages are very high hit point. They have 2,000 hit points versus like 960. And what that means is it takes dragons a really long time to get through to them to get to the air defense, which keeps the air defense up longer, doing more damage. On this base, I've got it set up so that coming from this side is pretty much suicide, and if they come from this side, there's the town hall, there's the storages, there's the king is actually a really good meat shield too, because he's got 2,000 hit points. All these things take the dragons a very, very long time to get through, and the whole time there's air defenses blasting them, and it's a trap. And if loons come through, the loons have to be perfectly timed, because these air bombs are going to hit the loons, and Teslas and Sweeper are going to hopefully bring down the loons before they can bring down an air defense. Now this is an all-in base design. If these air defenses go down, the rest of the base is pretty much toast. Well, actually that's not true, because there's archer towers here on the back end that can really slow things down. Anyhow, as far as making an anti-dragon base, you want to have storages protecting your air defenses. Storages are basically walls for dragons. That's a way of seeing them. And the town hall doesn't really matter. You're defending against the 3-star. If they get 2 stars by snagging your town hall, it's still a successful defense. No matter what, you're a minimum going to get 2-star, no matter how good of a base you design. Just that's the way it goes. The last thing you're defending against at Town Hall 8 is hogs. And this is the hardest to defend against, and these principles also hold true at Town Hall 9. At Town Hall 9 it's a lot more complex, but at Town Hall 8 your only defense really against hogs is spring traps and double giant bomb positions. This single giant bomb right here, he can place a heal here, and the hogs will run over it and it'll blow up and it won't kill them. They'll heal right back up to full health and it'll be like the giant bomb was never there. But hogs going through two double giant bombs are going to die instantly, and even if they're under heal, that's the end of the attack right there. Game over. So that's the goal. The goal is to try and get the hogs, the big main pack of hogs, to run over the double giant bombs. So what you want to do is you want to set your double giant bombs up in a place in the base where the hogs are going to path right to them. If the hogs come in, like say this clan castle was a defense, and the hogs went from this clan castle to this air defense that's right here, what would happen is they'd trip one of the giant bombs early by standing on the corner of this air defense, and then it would go off, and then the heal would bring them back up to full health, and then the other giant bomb would go off, but they'd be at full health and it wouldn't kill them all. You have to get the hogs to go through both double giant bombs at the exact same time. So you basically want to design your base so that the hogs are pathed right into it. Like if you'll notice here, there's a circle, and in the circle is the double giant bombs. In between, if that makes any sense, like it's a ring, and part of the ring is broken by the double giant bombs, so that when the hogs follow the ring of defenses around the base, they're naturally going to be taken into the double giant bombs. Now this double giant bomb position right here would work pretty well, except for the problem is a hog can be sent right past this laboratory and trip one of those bombs and ruin it just from the outside. So you need to have your double giant bombs inside the base. Then the next best defense against hogs is spring traps, and you want to load them up in between defenses like this. And each one should ideally flip 3 hogs, and if you get all 6 spring traps flipping hogs, that's 18 hogs. That's half the hog army just in spring traps. It's absolutely devastating. So having said that, let's take a look at your current war base and see if we can make any little changes or corrections that will help it. So first thing on the checklist is go wipe. You have, I want to say, about 7 or 8 compartments in here. It's not enough to stop go wipe. There's too much range of motion. Golems can, the farther a golem gets into the base, like this channel that's right here, a golem can follow it all the way into the base and give full tanking value. And what that means is while all those defenses are hitting the golem, all the DPS troops like wizards and P.E.K.K.A. are smacking on stuff free, basically. If a golem gets stuck on a wall, then the DPS troops are going to separate themselves from the golem and they're going to get killed. And that's the end of the raid. So you need to break this up into more sections, just because the troops can get into the base. I mean, the golems can move through the base too freely. And this clan castle is also pretty easy to pull, which isn't recommended. You want to make it a little bit hard for them. That only comes into play in hog attacks. It's not critical eternally, but it really helps. Yeah. And I just noticed this, so I'm going to break off onto this. So to make this base anti-hog, the first thing is by putting this wall here, you're telling the attacker that that's where there's 2 spring traps, or that's where there's bombs, or that's where there's something that's nasty. It's telegraphing the position, it's foreshadowing in a way. And what that means is if I'm getting the pull, I'm going to put down 3 hogs on this cannon, take out that cannon, and they're going to negate both of those spring traps while they're getting the pull. And it'll be super efficient for my hog attack, because each one of those is 3 hogs that are killed. So if I kill the spring traps and the hogs run over them, and there's only like 1 hog, 2 hogs left, and they trip both the spring traps, it's not the full 3 hogs. Anytime you can make something not obvious, do that. This makes it obvious that there's spring traps here, and a skilled attacker will find a way to make the spring traps worthless efficiently on the clan castle pole. And also, so I guess we kind of already covered go wipe. So on to dragons. This is pretty good. You've got your air defenses set up so that there's storage is in front of them. So yeah, I would check that off. Seeker mines are pretty well set up so that if dragons go anywhere near the air defenses, they're going to get drilled by a seeker mine. So yeah, that pretty good anti-dragon base for the most part. I don't know what you were 3-starred by, but it was a Town Hall 9, so it doesn't even matter. If a Town Hall 9 doesn't 3-star you, they're a moron. So the next thing is hogs. Now, with the defensive level being what they are, it should be a pretty easy base to hog regardless of what you do, unless you have a really good double giant bomb setup. And even with max defenses, it's still pretty easy to hog unless you have a good double giant bomb setup and a good spring trap setup. These spring traps would be a really good position if you take away that wall. Because they're in between defenses, which means hogs are going to path right over them. They're going to go right over the spring traps, and all the spring traps are going to be effective. As long as, I mean, assuming the attacker doesn't know they're there. These other spring trap positions aren't that good because, like this spring trap here, hogs are going to go to this cannon from probably the air sweeper, the mortar, or the archer tower, and they're not going to go to this side of the cannon, so the spring trap won't be used. And kind of same for this giant bomb. Hogs aren't likely to go there. The way these giant bombs are set up, the hogs aren't likely to run over them. That's where you're trying. Giant bombs don't really have another use. Sure, they can be used against witches and wizards and stuff, but those don't really contribute. They're more valuable against hogs. So what you need to do here is somehow add double giant bomb positions. And there's no ring to this base. All the defenses are mixed in amongst storages. So wherever you put the double giant bomb position, there's a way for the hogs to path into the double giant bomb position so that they trip the bombs one at a time and they don't hit them both at the same time. And a skilled attacker will be able to do that. Like for example, like if you create a double giant bomb position right here in between this wizard tower, an attacker can come from this barracks side, go to the mortar, and then go and hit the double giant bomb positions that's in between the wizard tower and air defense. Hit the double giant bombs one at a time. And for more information on double giant bomb positions, on my YouTube channel, when it pulls up here. Oh, stop it. I said stop it. Bad YouTube channel. There we go. Let's see. Oh, that's frustrating. No, wrong part. It'll be in attack fundamentals if I can get it to work right now. It's having serious issues because of my recording software's taking up too much work. Where is it? No, it's not in attack fundamentals. It'll be in base design. Defense strategies. Double giant bomb positions. Yeah, watch this video on double giant bomb positions.
Hey guys, the purpose of this video is to talk about effective double giant bomb positions. And for the heck of it, let's watch one work. Bye-bye. See that? Under heal, hogs cannot stand 2 giant bombs. And that's the point of this whole video, is to make that happen, so that all that is left...
That's the idea. So yeah, hope this helps. Let me know if you have questions. Good anti-dragon base, kind of weak to go wipe and hogging. So yeah, what I would do is probably make a different base from this point and start from scratch. And on my channel I actually have a video on how to do that, how to make a base from scratch. So yeah, I hope this helps, and thank you.